He's prominent in the Torrance area, I think. I'm not sure.
Oh, really?
How you doing? Good. Yes, good to see you.
How are you doing? Craig Huey, right?
Yes.
You know, I got him mixed up with the other guys. Oh, here he comes.
Oh, yeah.
Los Angeles knows we're here. Senator Cruz doesn't need an introduction, but I wanted to tell this story anyway. About 6 months ago, when I came on board to be the state chairman for Senator Cruz, I had a conversation with one of our former statewide elected officials, who you would all know. And he's a friend of mine, and I said, you know, I'm going to sign up I'm going to be the state chairman for Senator Cruz. And this former statewide Republican elected official kind of gave me the proverbial pat on the head and said, oh, well, that's really nice. You should go do that. That's a good little thing for you to do for your career. And then, but I'm going to go with the next president of the United States, whose name rhymes with Jeb Bush. and then, don't worry, when we're at the convention, we'll find a role for you. So I sent him a text message yesterday. And I said, don't worry, at the convention, I'll find a role for you. We have had a great day. It's a tremendous honor to be on the campaign team for this man. So please, once again, let's welcome the next President of the United States.
You guys are amazing. First thing I'm going to do, I'm listening. Look, thank you. This is amazing. Thank you guys for coming out. Thank you for your passion. Listen, rather than, the last thing you need is another speech. But I'm going to do something a little different. I want to tell you about how Heidi and I met. So Heidi and I met on January 2nd, 2000. We were both working on the Bush campaign, and we're both staffers there. She comes in. Our first date was January 5th, 2000. So I'm embarrassed. It took me 3 days to ask her out. and it was absolute love at first sight. We fell head over heels. We ended up becoming one of 8 marriages that came out of the Bush campaign. Which has led to a lousy joke I've told all over the country, which is whatever anyone else says about George W. Bush, in our house, he will always be a uniter and not a divider. But, so we're dating, and we date throughout the year on the campaign, and for anyone who's been on a campaign, you know they are intense. It is, 18, 20, 22 hours a day. It's like dating dog years, so by the end of the year, we've dated 7 years. And at the end of that year, that Christmas, Heidi invites me to come back to meet her family to come join us for Christmas. Now, Heidi is a native Californian.
Yeah.
from the Central Coast, from up in San Luis Obispo. So I come up there, and Heidi's family, they're all vegetarians. And Heidi's vegetarian. And so they bring me in, and we're having a Christmas dinner. Now a vegetarian Christmas dinner is just like any other, but the entree never arrives. I keep waiting, going, well, okay, the appetizers are great, but when's the meal? And you know, Heidi's parents are trying to get to know, you know, who's this strange young man their daughter has brought home. And so they're asking, they said, well, what does your family do for Christmas? I said, well, my family's Cuban. And so the Cuban tradition is, on Christmas Eve, we roast a whole pig. If you could imagine a table of California vegetarians looking with utter horror. If I had said we consume live kittens under a full moon, they would not have been more horrified. And then I went on to tell a story, proving that I really didn't know enough to stop digging when I was in the hole. I told the story of when my dad was a college student at the University of Texas, and he's, 18, 19 years old, barely speaking English, didn't have 2 nickels to rub together. And he and some other Cuban buddies, they wanted to have a Christmas dinner. And so they scraped together a few dollars, and they drove out to this farm just outside of Austin in Texas, and they found these farmers. They said, listen, can we maybe buy a little piglet from them? Said, we just got a couple of bucks, can you maybe help us out? And these farmers, they saw these kids, they decided to have fun with them. They said, okay, I'll tell you what, we're going to release this piglet in that corral over there that's filled with water. If you can catch it, you can keep it. And they sat on the fence for a half hour, howling, laughing, watching these teenagers chasing this piglet in the mud. Best entertainment they'd had. Well, fast forward to when Heidi and I get engaged. Heidi and I get engaged. Her mom picks up the phone and calls her and says, sweetheart, are you prepared to catch the pig? I can say in 14 and a half years, Heidi has never once caught a pig, and I'm quite confident she never is going to. So that's a little bit of story of how Heidi and I met. Let me do one other thing also. Would you say thank you? The strength of this campaign is the men and women gathering. The strength of this campaign is the grassroots. The strength of this campaign are people across this country. They're fed up with what's going on in Washington.
That's right.
Yep.
And let me tell you, the men and women here, y'all scare the living daylights out of Washington.
Yeah.
And liberty is never safer than when politicians are terrified.
Amen.
What y'all are doing, and let me tell you, what's happening here is happening in every state. It's one of the most unbelievable blessings of getting the chance to run for president. And I got to tell you, people say, are you tired? And listen, it is 18 hours a day, 6 days a week without ceasing. But the truth of the matter is, I jump out of bed every day. I am energized by the passion, by the excitement that we are seeing each and every day. Look, our country's in crisis.
Yep.
I mean, we are fighting to save the greatest country in the history of the world, and what an unbelievable privilege to have the chance to stand up and fight to turn things around.
That's right.
I mean, that is, and by the way, it was California that led the fight last time. We defeated the Washington cartel. The Reagan Revolution, we are standing in. This is the power of the campaign. This is why we are going to win, is your leadership, your passion, your standing up and energizing others So I just want to say thank you. With that, let's open it up to questions rather than... Bradley.
President Obama has gone out of his way to demoralize and diminish Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
Yes.
As well as most of his. Israel, I think, is probably our most important ally in the war against the radical Islamic terror in the world. Mid-January 2017,
Yeah.
what will you be doing to help rebuild that relationship with our greatest ally, I believe?
Yeah, listen, it is a great question, and the condition right now of our relationships with our friends and allies, and especially the nation of Israel, is deplorable. 5-6 years ago, Bradley, if I would have suggested to you that the elected Prime Minister of Israel would come to Congress to address a joint session of Congress, and he would be boycotted by the President of the United States, the Vice President of the United States, and every member of the Cabinet, you would have said that's crazy. That can't happen. They would have dismissed me as some conspiracy theory, tinfoil hat wearing, black helicopter nutcase. Now that you mention it, they do that anyway. But remember, just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not out to get you.
That's right.
But what we have done with our relationship with Israel has been heartbreaking. I mean, this has been the most anti-Israel administration we have ever seen. Now, I can tell you, in the 3 years that I've been serving in the Senate, I've traveled to Israel 3 times. I have endeavored from day one serving in the Senate to be the leading defender of the nation of Israel, and I intend to continue doing so from 1600 Pennsylvania. And I'll give you a couple of very concrete things that will change on day one. On day one, I intend to rip to shreds this catastrophic Iranian nuclear.
Yeah.
On day one, I intend to begin the process of moving the American embassy in Israel to Jerusalem, the once and eternal. Not simply because Israel is literally the only nation on earth where our embassy is not in their capital. But it's also important as a statement. Moving the embassy to Jerusalem is a statement to Israel. It's a statement to our friends and allies that America's back.
Yep.
That we stand with our friends, and we really don't give a damn if a bunch of nutcases are unhappy.
Amen. Come on.
Statement to our friends is the statement to our enemies. They understand it as well. It's also why in the opening weeks, one of the first signs things were going to be bad in the Obama presidency is when he sent back to the United Kingdom the bust of Winston Churchill.
Oh, God.
In the opening weeks of my presidency, Winston Churchill is coming back.
I'm an Army captain's mom, and I'd like to know, when I sent my son to deployment, it was really hard because of the rules of engagement.
Yeah. Where is he stationed now?
Right now, he's doing ROTC training in University of Illinois, Chicago. So what I'd like to know, and I'm sure military families and soldiers would like to know, is what will you do about the rules of engagement to enable our soldiers to do the job?
Yeah, look, it is a very important question. What we're doing right now is shameful. We are sending our servicemen and women in to fight with both arms tied. And my view on military engagement, America has always been reluctant to use military power. We use it as a last step. We should do it only to preserve the vital national security interest of the United States. But if and when military power is required, we should use overwhelming force and then get the help. If you look